Now, as we see in this section of the video, I see Michael Bell's car approaching a stop sign, and he stops. And then he moves forward, actually advancing towards a police car, doing about 20 miles an hour.
Didn't look very fast at all.
No, well, I was a radar technician when I was a police officer, and we had to judge speed visually, and he was doing no more than 20 miles an hour. And he did make a full stop at the stop sign prior to that.
And then about 20 seconds later, Officer Strasbaugh walks in front of the car. He doesn't seem to be in any big hurry, makes a U-turn and goes after Bell. There were a couple stop signs down there, but you can see that there's no way that he could have seen if Bell stopped or not. It appears that Bell was driving normally. And then Officer Strasbaugh increases his speed of his squad to 61 miles an hour, according to his own video.
When Arnold tells us on this video from the police dash cam, he actually ran 2 stop signs himself.
And didn't appear to slow down?
It didn't slow down at all.
Yeah.
He couldn't see if anybody was coming. And then you see Bell getting out of his car, he stopped in front of his own home before the police car even gets there.
But then he gets grabbed by the throat, and that leaves such a bad taste to see that. To see an individual getting muscled around by a policeman for nothing, and then when the policeman, he says, when Bell says, "What am I being stopped for?" The officer says, "You went through a stop sign," and then he says, "You were speeding." But there's no way, that he had that that he could charge him with that. I mean,
No.
It's illegal arrest. He was just making it up. He was lying.
It was obvious on the video of the dash cam that he had not run a stop sign and that he was not speeding. And you're right, that manhandling of him, as you see in the video, where he grabs him by the throat, forces him to the driver's door of the car, then turns him around, and then drags him off the camera's view.
Yeah, and
why would you drag somebody off the camera's view?
That was just uncalled for. He was just bullying Michael Bell.
Right. Then if you noticed, when he had him at the front of the police car, up by his driver's door, all of a sudden the audio stopped.
Yeah.
When there was audio initially, then there's no audio. And now again, here they are at the rear of the car. We can't see them, but we can hear them. So what happened to the audio?
Appears as if they may have tampered with it, or maybe we just can't hear it, but there's something radically wrong there. Yeah.
And they're telling him he's under arrest. There's 2 officers here at the scene, one both behind the police car with Bell. And now we hear, put your hands behind your back. And all of a sudden, Bell screams because they tased him. With a taser.
And Bell, he even said, "Please don't tase me. Don't tase me." He's already been grabbed by the throat. He's already been muscled around. He's already got 2 officers, trying to hold him down. And for what?
Right. And from the police reports that we read on this incident, because we can't see what's happening here at this point, he got up off the ground to run away because he was being falsely arrested and accused.
Well, he was
a crime he didn't commit.
He was scared to death.
Yep.
They're beating the heck out of him, and for what?
Right. So then they chase him to his backyard, and he ultimately winds up in his own driveway by his back porch, and all the lights come on, from the inside the home and outside the floodlights, and they're beating him up out there on the concrete
The beating
driveway.
was brutal. The medical examiner's report lists the abrasions and bruises that Mike Bell had received.
Walked away from them limping when the police took him to the ground again. Tased them again, and by this time there's 3 police officers. Ultimately, they're fighting alongside of a car in the driveway. From what I understood in reading depositions and reading police reports, this Officer Gonzalez shows up, claiming as he's rushing towards the 3 officers and Bell, who's on the driver's side of a car. At this point, his hands are flailing about, according to Gonzalez.
According to the police report.
His police report. Kruger, the lieutenant, says he's claiming he's got Bell in a bear hug from behind around the shoulders, and that Bell's trying to push his hands off the car. And while this is happening, Strasbaugh is saying he's got my gun, when reality is Bell didn't have anybody's gun.
Strasbaugh had it hooked under the mirror of the car.
Yeah, which broke during this altercation. With the struggling, the gun's probably lodged under the mirror and all the struggling jostling around. And with Strasburg's hip against the car, there's no way Bell can get his hands down in there to grab a gun. And then Strasburg's own testimony was he had his own hand on his gun, pushing it down in the holster.
Yeah. And then at this point, Gonzalez comes running up, pulls out his gun, and shoots Michael Bell in the head. Gonzalez was standing in between Lieutenant Kruger, who was holding Bell by in a bear hug, and Strasbaugh, who was on his right.
From what I understood, and from reviewing the medical examiner reports and the crime scene photos, there's an actual imprint here on the right side of Michael Bell's head that indicates that the muzzle was pressed so hard against his head that it left an imprint of the muzzle and the sight of that pistol in his temple.
Well, what had happened is the first time Gonzalez put his gun up to his head, he pushed it so hard the slide came back a little bit and made it what they call out of battery so it wouldn't be fired. So Gonzalez pulled his gun back, repositioned it forward again, and then shot Bell at that point without any valid justification or reason. And then realizing that they had just murdered Michael Bell, from there they had to reposition and put Gonzalez in a different position. They put him at the front of the car. They falsely claimed he was there because that would give him the justification, because he did not have justification by being when he was between the lieutenant and Strasbaugh.
Well, no. Initially, like we said, he said the man's hands were flailing about. The lieutenant said he was trying to push himself off the car. So how could he have anybody's gun? So how was he a life-threatening danger to any police officer?
He wasn't, and Gonzalez knew it. So then what they had to do is they had to turn around and put Gonzalez in a different position to protect him.
To basically
cover up the
story.
Cover up a murder.
So as a result of their initial reports, though, and the investigation that the police supposedly had done on this matter at this point in time, it was within 48 hours that they declared this shooting to be a good or an act of self-defense.
Sure.
When in fact that we found out later that's not the case at all. What happened with the district attorney? I mean, did they get involved in this part of it at all?
Yes, about several months later, the district attorney claimed that he reviewed everything and that he found it justified and called it a justifiable shooting. 2005, the Bell family filed a lawsuit against the Kenosha police officers in the city of Kenosha, and they were represented by the officers were represented by attorneys from the insurance fund that indemnifies the city, and in 2007 they had depositions. They took the officers' testimony. After they finished testifying, then the attorneys for the Bell family gave them the medical examiner's report, which apparently the officers hadn't read, and neither had their attorneys.
Or neither had the district attorney's office either from that matter, because they would have seen right away, because I've read it, and I've looked at the crime scene photos, and being a crime scene investigator myself, I realized right away that the position that Bell was in and Gonzalez was in was nowhere near consistent with the police story.
That's correct. So then from there, the police with their attorneys all got together and did a series of phony reenactments trying to explain, and they were bending Michael Bell and or their officer playing Michael Bell, and none of them really worked compared well with the evidence. As a matter of fact, the medical examiner told them that and signed affidavits saying that their reenactments were not consistent with the physical evidence. And they gave a total of 6 different stories. Wiedner gave 6 different stories. Kruger gave 6 different stories, as did Gonzalez. Wiedner gave 2 stories, and then on his third version, he changed it completely 180 degrees around. Well, Wiedner was claiming that he was pushing Michael Bell's mother and sister back, keeping them from being involved.
So that's why he got out of the struggle.
Right. But he claims that when he turned around in his police report and in his original deposition testimony, that alongside the side of the fender of the car, he observed Lieutenant Kruger holding Bell, that Gonzalez was to his right and Strasbourg was to his right. He said that on 2 separate times. And then they asked him that again in his second deposition, his third version, and he said, no, I didn't see that.